The humiliation doesn't begin loudly. It never does. It begins quietly, with assumptions. I arrive at the event already knowing my place, or at least the place my family has assigned me. I'm not the success story. I'm not the pride. I'm the tolerated presence. The one who is invited out of obligation, not admiration. The one people smile at politely, the way you smile at someone you don't expect much from. This night is important. Everyone knows it. My brother made sure of that. His career milestone. His celebration. His world. I'm stepping into it wearing clothes I spent too long choosing, trying to strike a balance between respectable and forgettable. I don't want to draw attention. I also don't want to confirm their worst assumptions. The room is expensive in a way that feels intentional. Tailored suits, crystal glasses, soft lighting designed to flatter people who already believe they deserve admiration. Conversations hum with confidence and self-importance. This is my brother's element. And then he speaks. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't need to. His words slice cleanly through the room, sharp enough to turn heads. He introduces everyone who matters, his wife, his mother, his allies, and then he gestures toward me. The joke lands immediately. It's cruel, public, precise, designed to establish hierarchy. Laughter ripples outward. Not everyone laughs, but enough do. Enough to make it clear that the room understands the script. I am the lesser sibling, the embarrassing one, the punchline. I stand there, frozen, not because I don't know what to say, but because I understand exactly what has happened. This wasn't accidental. This was a performance, a declaration. And the most painful part isn't the laughter. It's my mother's reaction. She smiles, not warmly, not proudly, but with quiet approval. The smile of someone who believes the joke is accurate, necessary even. A correction. I realize then that this story didn't begin tonight. This moment has been rehearsed my entire life. My brother has always been the success, the one with titles and numbers and language that sounds impressive. His achievements are repeated like scripture at family gatherings. My work, by contrast, has always been minimized, reduced to something small, dirty, unserious. They don't ask questions. They don't listen to explanations. They've already decided what matters. What they don't know, and what I have never told them, is that my life doesn't match their narrative at all. I don't correct the joke. I don't defend myself, not because I can't, but because I've learned something important about power. People who underestimate you reveal more than they realize. As the party continues, I observe. I notice how often my brother checks his phone, how his smile tightens when he thinks no one is watching, how his confidence feels practiced, not secure. I notice the way his associates exchange glances when he speaks, the way the room listens politely but not deeply, the way something underneath the celebration feels unstable. And I also notice something else. This venue, the gardens, the design, the atmosphere, it is my work. My company built the space. My vision shaped the environment my brother is using to elevate himself. And he doesn't even know. That irony sits heavy in my chest. Not triumphant, just sad. Because despite everything, I didn't come here to win. I came here hoping, stupidly, that maybe this time would be different. That maybe my family would see me without needing proof of value attached. They didn't. And yet standing there, publicly dismissed, something shifts. Not anger, not revenge, clarity. I understand now that this dynamic won't change on its own, that silence has only taught them I'll accept disrespect. And I understand something else, too. This isn't just about me. Something is wrong beneath the surface of my brother's success, and I'm not the only one who sees it. The turning point doesn't come from confrontation. It comes from attention. Later that night, Away from the noise and laughter, someone approaches me. An older man, calm, observant, the kind of presence that doesn't compete for space because it doesn't need to. He recognizes my work, not vaguely, precisely. He knows my company, my projects, my reputation. He speaks about them the way professionals do, without exaggeration, without surprise, just fact. That alone tells me everything I need to know about him. Then he says something that shifts the ground beneath my feet. My brother is in trouble. Not metaphorically, not socially, legally. An investigation, financial irregularities, a merger that isn't an achievement, but an escape, a last-ditch attempt to outrun consequences already in motion. The pieces begin to align. The nervous glances, the overconfidence, the desperation masked as celebration. And then, the most unsettling question of all. Has my brother been managing my father's finances? I don't answer immediately, because suddenly memories recontextualize themselves. My father's confusion, the stress my parents never fully explained, the quiet tension at home that everyone pretended was normal. The man doesn't accuse, he doesn't dramatize, he simply suggests I look closer. I do. And what I find is worse than I imagined. Power of attorney transferred quietly, accounts consolidated, assets moved, debt placed where there was none before, a lifetime of careful savings slowly siphoned away under the guise of help. My father trusted him. That's the part that hurts the most. Not the money, not the betrayal of me, the exploitation of someone who believed family meant safety. I don't act emotionally, I don't confront anyone. I do what I've always done when something matters. I investigate. I bring in professionals, I document everything, I confirm patterns, I build timelines, I let facts speak louder than feelings. And the facts are undeniable. My brother didn't just fail, he stole, repeatedly, systematically, from the one person who never questioned him. This isn't sibling rivalry, this is abuse. At the same time, I learned more about the broader case unfolding around him. His professional world is collapsing faster than he realizes. The walls are already closing in. What he doesn't know is that I am no longer invisible. The sister he dismissed has resources, expertise, connections, and now resolve. I don't want revenge. I want protection, accountability, truth. And if those things require the illusion of his success to shatter publicly, then so be it. Because some lies only survive in silence. The final confrontation doesn't happen in private. It happens where my brother feels safest, surrounded by status, witnesses, and the image he worked so hard to construct. Another celebration, another performance. This time, I play along. I smile, I congratulate, I let him believe I'm finally coming around. I watch relief flicker across his face when he thinks the hierarchy has been restored. It hasn't. Everything is prepared. The evidence is complete. Authorities are waiting. The timing is precise. When the moment comes, it's quiet. No shouting, no drama. Documents slide across the table. Questions are asked. Names are recognized. My brother's confidence collapses in real time. The room shifts. People who laughed before now avert their eyes. Allies recalculate. His wife goes silent. His supporters distance themselves instinctively. And then, the truth is spoken out loud. Not as revenge, as record. What he did, who he hurt, how long it lasted. I don't raise my voice when I finally speak. I don't need to. I explain who I am, not defensively, but clearly. My work, my company, my accomplishments, the life I built quietly while being underestimated. I explain why I never said anything before. Because I wanted to be loved without needing to prove worth. The silence afterward is heavy. My brother is taken away, not as a fallen king, but as what he truly is, a man who built his power on borrowed trust and lies. I don't feel victorious, I feel finished. Finished carrying shame that was never mine. Finished shrinking myself for people who mistook humility for weakness. In the aftermath, I rebuild what was damaged. Not just finances, but safety, stability, trust. My father is protected. My work continues. My life remains grounded in the same values it always was. Creation over appearance. Substance over status. The difference is this. I no longer accept being unseen, and I no longer mistake silence for peace. Because sometimes the strongest thing you can do is let the truth speak. Once, clearly, and without apology. Power doesn't disappear loudly. It leaves quietly, carrying shame instead of applause. The days after my brother's arrest felt unreal, like the world had tilted slightly off its axis. News articles came out in waves, carefully worded headlines about financial irregularities and ongoing investigations. His name appeared everywhere, usually next to words like alleged and under scrutiny. The same people who once praised him now avoided saying his name at all. I refused every interview request, not because I had something to hide, but because this story was never about public spectacle for me. It was about correction, balance, accountability. Power doesn't disappear loudly. It leaves quietly, carrying shame instead of applause. The days after my brother's arrest felt unreal, like the world had tilted slightly off its axis. News articles came out in waves, carefully worded headlines about financial irregularities and ongoing investigations. His name appeared everywhere, usually next to words like alleged and under scrutiny. The same people who once praised him now avoided saying his name at all. I refused every interview request, not because I had something to hide, but because this story was never about public spectacle for me. It was about correction, balance, accountability. My father moved through those days like a man waking up from a long illness, slowly, carefully, confused at times, but lighter. The burden he didn't even realize he was carrying had finally been lifted. One afternoon, we sat together in his garden. He ran his hands through the soil, inspecting the plants like he always had, grounding himself in something familiar. "I should have seen it," he said quietly. "No," I replied. "You trusted your son. That's not a flaw." He nodded, eyes wet. "You always were the strong one." That was the first time he had ever said that out loud. My mother, on the other hand, struggled with silence. She had spent decades measuring success in titles, appearances, and proximity to power. Now all of that had collapsed in on itself. Her golden child was gone, not just disgraced, but exposed. And the daughter she had dismissed had quietly taken control of the situation with precision and competence. We didn't fight. We didn't cry together either. But something shifted. She watched me differently now. Not warmly, not proudly, but carefully, as if she were relearning who I was. At work, life continued. Projects moved forward, employees showed up, contracts were honored, gardens grew, water flowed where it had been designed to flow. That continuity grounded me. While my brother's life unraveled, mine remained steady, not because I was unaffected, but because I had built something real, something that didn't depend on a lesion. One evening, I received a message from an unknown number. It was my brother. Short, desperate, unpolished. "I didn't think you'd actually do it. I thought family meant protection." I stared at the screen for a long time before responding. Family means not exploiting trust. I didn't destroy you. I stopped you. He never replied. That silence told me everything.